And for us to get a win like this in front of our home fans, they deserve it. We haven't played like much of anything as of late, so it's good to get a win in front of them.
You know, he's one of the best of all time, and he's showing exactly why he's at. And year after year, he keeps proving, other people wrong.
We're going through it right now, and there's more games coming. So we've got to do this ourselves. We got to dig our way out of the mud ourselves, and nobody's going to help us.
Giving in to losing mentality, like we're not that team. Not gonna let us be that team, and I don't know. It's rough right now. Keeping it plain and simple, it's rough. We got to figure out how to claw our way out.
Now, 5 years ago, LeBron James became the oldest player in NBA history with at least 55 points and 10 boards in a game. He reset that number Saturday. His 56 points, also the second most in NBA history at age 37 or older, trailing only Kobe Bryant's 60 points in his final game. As if that game weren't enough of a treat, we got Mike Wilbon in studio with us to help us break down some of what we saw. Mike, I have the quote from LeBron James from a few days ago. Until you stomp me out, cut my head off, bury me 12 feet under, then I got a chance. They got more than a chance with him. How do you put this performance into perspective?
It just, LeBron's had great performances all year. The Lakers have not. LeBron has. But then this was a cut above, right? I mean, his tied for third highest point total in his career. I mean, that's saying something. And LeBron has done this, and he hasn't been able to carry the team along high in the standings, high enough, right? To his liking or anybody in the organization's liking. But you watch tonight, and everybody's going to say, okay, this is the performance that can turn the Lakers.
We've been saying it all season.
I don't believe that. If it was that simple, then LeBron's greatness could have turned them before tonight.
Okay, they're at the bottom of the West if they sneak in, and the Warriors at the top, so this could be a first-round series.
Yeah, it could be.
Does this matter in that
Yes,
sense?
I think it could. The Warriors have issues.
Yeah, that was my next question.
And I don't think it's as simple.
Our concern goes to the Warriors.
Yes.
4 in a row for them.
I don't think it's as simple as Draymond coming back. It was as simple as Draymond leaving. Now, I don't think you just reinsert him in the lineup and all of a sudden they flip it again. Even though clearly there's plenty of institutional memory with Draymond Green and these Warriors and what they've done since 2015.
Right.
So it's different than, say, Kevin Durant having to come in and play with Ben Simmons for, oh, wait, they haven't done that yet. Right. Or Kyrie Irving because they've done it like 3 or 4 times this season, if that. Yes, you can get more out of Draymond when he immediately returns. But I think the Warriors, I think what they're confronting right now without Draymond, and he appears ready to come back sometime soon, is what we're hearing. Yep. I still think the Warriors are looking at something they're going to have to fight their way out of.
Yeah. Right now, they were looking up at the Suns, but now they're concerned more is looking side by side with the Grizzlies, who are arriving ahead of schedule and challenging them for that 2 spot. Hey, great to see you. Great to have you on the show.
Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it, man.
All right.
Greeny, there's been an increasing push within the Lakers organization, I'm told, both inside and outside the locker room, to demote 9-time All-Star Russell Westbrook from the starting lineup. But so far, head coach Frank Vogel's resisted that idea. Vogel still maintains that he believes there's an opportunity for Westbrook to make the kind of late-season charge with the Lakers that he did a year ago in Washington. But frustrations have mounted in this Laker organization, and I'm told in the last week there's been some tense moments between Vogel and Westbrook, including yesterday in a team film session that Westbrook has been trying to navigate all season long how to operate in a very different role, away from the ball, away from playmaking. Now, Frank Vogel said yesterday he's had this conversation within his staff, within the organization, about bringing Westbrook off the bench. He's not there yet. Remember, Russell Westbrook's got another year left on his deal with the Lakers at $47 million next year.
Woj, outstanding work. Thank you very much. And Magic, I'm told that you were not able to hear him, but he was just addressing the idea that Frank Vogel and the Laker organization is considering trying to bring Russell Westbrook off the bench as they go forward, that they have not gotten to that point yet, that there's been some tension between Vogel and the coaching staff and Westbrook as they try to maneuver their way through what has been a challenging time figuring out his role. Once again, and Michael asked you the question earlier, in your mind, do you believe the best role for Westbrook on this team would be coming off the bench?
Well, if Coach Vogel thinks that, then that's the best. I can't say that. I'm not in practice. I'm not, around the team like that. I come to all the games. They got to get better on defense. And if that's sitting him, then Coach Vogel got to make that call. The Lakers' biggest issue is transition defense, and then once they get the transition together, they got to get out on the break. We're such a slow team, we got to find a way to manufacture points in transition because we can't set up right now. There's no Anthony Davis, so our half-court game is struggling.
Here's my problem. That decision should have been considered months ago. Whatever you want to say, whatever direction you were going to go in, you should have done it earlier. If you do it now, it's pretty much too little too late in my estimation. Because who else do you got? Yeah, you can give the ball to LeBron James and certain things can happen. We understand that. But the point is, in terms of the morale, in terms of the dysfunctionality that is raked through this franchise, why the hell would you be doing it now? That means it's a problem that you haven't addressed all of these months, which means you were dragging your feet to get to this decision. I don't know if that's Vogel's fault. I don't know if that's manager's fault. I don't know.
But Jalen, were you losing for the rest of the season, though? That's what I'm concerned with.
See, this is his hometown, right? Yep. And now at this point in the season, if you bring him off the bench, you're pointing the finger at him.
Right.
To everybody else. And to his point, you lose him now.
Right.
In order for him to get out of this, it has to be via effort, like Magic said.
But it should have been weeks and weeks and weeks ago.
To your point.
Then they could have gone to him and said, hey, listen, let's try this. I point out, Scottie Pippen played with the second unit on 6 championship teams. It's not an embarrassment, or it shouldn't be, but you got to do it in November. You're right. It's hard to do it in March when you know this team is so desperate to win.
But for those who've just joined us, you are still of the belief this team can pull it together, that between now and the end of the season with the return of Anthony Davis, what do you think this team can still achieve?
I feel good. If Anthony Davis is healthy, that play-in game, I will feel much better because I think we can win that game. I would much rather us win that and play Golden State or Phoenix than us losing that game. Right. And then this season, it's going to be a problem in Los Angeles for all these guys, not just Westbrook, but for everybody.
If the Los Angeles Lakers played a play-in game against the New Orleans Pelicans in New Orleans with Anthony Davis on the court, they're losing.
I would love to see it. I would love to see that.
They bounce out.
Well, we are ready to go, and let us talk. Our opening tip tonight, there's only one place to begin, and that is with the team, the proud franchise that plays in this building. It has been a brutal week for the Lakers. Let us count the ways. A 28-point loss to the Pelicans. They're second by 25 points at home this season. That was as bad as it could possibly be, but then it got worse. They trailed by as many as 21 against the Mavericks on Wednesday. Stormed back to take the lead, but ultimately, following a 15-4 Dallas run to close the game, they fall there. And then Thursday, perhaps hitting rock bottom with Stephen A. in attendance against the Clippers. Lakers down by as many as 30. Gave up a 21-0 run in the third. All in all, it has been the worst week of what has been a very challenging season. And so, Magic Johnson, as perhaps the greatest of all of the Lakers, what is your perspective on where this franchise is right this moment?
Well, Greeny, we've underachieved. We haven't performed well. This has been a season of really a lot of lows more than highs, right? And when we think about putting LeBron James, Westbrook, and Anthony Davis together, 2 of those guys are top 75 players of all time. And then AD is a top 5 talent. We have not performed well, and we have not played good basketball or smart basketball on either end of the court. And so we must come out focused. This is a big game for the Lakers. We got to win this game because we can ready to go out on the road. Now, all is not lost yet. We're in 9th place. No, not yet. Because I remember in 1991, we played poor up until the last 2 months of the season. We turned it around, went all the way when the Bulls beat us in 91 in the finals when nobody thought we could make it. Hopefully Anthony Davis will come back, but Russell Westbrook, young man, you got to know there was expectations when you called LeBron and Anthony Davis and said you wanted to be a Laker. You saw Kobe Bryant play and win all those championships, and Kobe said you were the guy. So you know you had to come here knowing that it's about championships when you put the purple and gold on. Quit battling the press. Take ownership and accountability and say, hey, I haven't played well, but I got a chance to turn it around. So I'm tired of excuses. It's time to take ownership and say, I just been playing poorly, but hopefully I can turn it around.
Is he the guy that you ultimately hold most accountable or most culpable? Is it LeBron for bringing him here and convincing management to do so? Is it management for accepting it? Is it Vogel because he hasn't handled the roster that's been given to him the way some people expected him to? Who do you point the finger at?
Well, first of all, it's everybody, because the defense has been bad, right? The offense, we're standing too much. There's no ball movement, no player movement. So everybody, Vogel's got to coach better. The players got to play better. It's everybody, Stephen A. It's not just Westbrook, but he's got to know that he's got to play better, because the Lakers gave up a lot to get him. And they could have had DeRozan, they could have had Hill, and we could have been a much better team. So he's got to step up to the plate and play championship basketball.
Irvin, is there enough time? You mentioned 1991. In 1991, they had you in your prime. Maybe at the end of prime, but still prime. Is there enough time now, and is there enough spirit in that room that you sense that can allow for a turn?
I'm hoping so. Anthony Davis is going to be the key to that. If he can get back healthy, hopefully. The problem is we're just a slow basketball team. Teams are killing us in transition. They're just going down, getting a three-point shot, or they're getting a layup. And the other thing, Jalen, is this. Pick and roll, we letting guys get their career highs on us. I've never seen anything like it. So we got to focus in on that pick and roll, because tonight we got one of the best players, or two of the best players, who play off pick and roll, and Steph Curry.
Magic, you're my childhood idol, and so many people get enamored by the things that they see you do on the floor, but they underestimate your killer instinct and your leadership. The thing I have a problem with when I watch this Lakers team play is they look defeated. And when they were playing against the Clippers in this building, and the fans were chanting, Reggie, Reggie. It's one thing for Luka to search out LeBron. It's another thing for Reggie Jackson to search out LeBron. Do you feel like this team can pick up its spirit and finish this season at least doing something positive?
We haven't played spirited basketball all season long. Matter of fact, to me, we have 12 individuals. We haven't come together as a unit. You know my problem? Who are we? What's our identity? We have no identity. So before Russell came, the last couple years, man, defense, defense, defense. Caruso, KCP, they can pick up the guards, pressure. We were about defense, and then once we stopped you, got out on the break. What I'm disappointed with Westbrook is I thought he was going to come with all this energy, get the rebound, go coast to coast. We haven't seen a lot of that. So we got to start seeing that. Where's that aggression? Where's that Westbrook go coast to coast dunking on people? And he hasn't finished once he got to the basket. I don't know if he lost his athleticism. Maybe he can't explode no more, but he's got to find a way to be better.
He's been demoralized because he can't shoot. And we've learned that. Let's just call it what it is. The man can get to the basket all day long. He can finish at the basket. Attack or kick, attack or kick. But because he's trying to shoot perimeter shots, you've got everybody in the crowd saying, please, please, in the crypto.com arena, they are chanting, screaming, please don't shoot. Now that's just bad. That's just bad. And I'll tell you this, I do think all is lost. Sorry to break it to you. I think your season's lost.
Well, let me say this. Every team is playing a zone on us, of course. They're daring everybody to shoot. It's not just him. It's the whole team. So all is not lost because we still have the play-in game. So if we can get through that, get to a series, yeah, we'll play one of the best teams in Phoenix or Golden State, but I'd rather for us to be there, because if we don't, this trade could go down as the worst trade in Laker history.
Whoa!
If we don't get out the play-in game, that's what'll happen.
Thanks for watching.
They're not missing the play-in. They'll get in the play-in tournament, no doubt about it. But they look like trash right now. The Lakers look horrible. Frank Vogel's probably going to lose his job. It's not his fault. We know he can coach. The problem is when you watch the Lakers, even though they were far more competitive last night than they were against the New Orleans Pelicans the other night, you just see too many, just too many nuggets of proof of how they've tuned Frank Vogel out. if you really, really want to think about it, let me tell you what's making the Lakers sick and what should be said about the Lakers that should make Laker Nation sick. And I'm here in L.A. right across the street. I'm telling you, they should be sick to their stomach, doggy. Ty Lue, some would say, is the best coach in basketball. You wanted Ty Lue, but ended up not wanting him because you wanted to pick his staff. And this man had gone to 4 straight NBA Finals and won a championship, overcoming a 3-1 deficit to beat the 73-win Golden State Warriors. And you disrespected Ty Lue by trying to insist on his staff. That's point number 1. Point number 2, one of the coaches you wanted to insist on him having was Jason Kidd, who was an assistant for you, and then you let him go instead of letting Frank Vogel go and elevating Jason Kidd. And look at the job Jason Kidd is doing in Dallas right now.
Yeah.
Frank Vogel's a
They
good
just
coach.
beat him.
He's got a championship. I'm very fond of him. I don't want him to lose his job. I don't think this is his fault. It's up to his management. It's the Linda and Kurt Ramesses of the world that Jeannie Buss is listening to, and Rob Pelinka, Mr. Pleaser, and LeBron. All of them are in on it. They all have culpability. But let me tell you something. If you wanted Jason Kidd that badly on your staff that you was willing to bypass Ty Lue, okay, why in God's name would you let him leave for Dallas? Look at the job he is doing with the Dallas Mavericks. He's got Luka playing better. Defensively, they're one of the elite teams. There's no reason for it.
Before Christopher gets in, though, Stephen A., you heard LeBron, right? So they get AD back. If they get AD back in a month, you still have LeBron James there. You don't think they can go and make a run? You really think it's over this year?
I don't think they're going deep. I don't think they're winning in the playoffs. I think that the Lakers are probably going home in the first round because they'll most assuredly will have to play Golden State, Phoenix, or Memphis. And all 3 of those teams are beating the Los Angeles Lakers this year.
All right, so you have them going home in the first round. What about you?
Yeah, they're not. Steve's right. They'll win a play-in game. You know, big deal. They're not there to win the 7-10 play-in nonsense. They're there to win championships. They got killed by Phoenix. They lost badly to Phoenix last year, albeit Davis got hurt. But he's never healthy anyway. And they will go. They'll be dangerous. He's LeBron James. But they will lose in the first round. And again, I love Stephen A. But, I mean, West every year is in the NBA final. This is his, 4th year in L.A. So he didn't make the playoffs the first year, albeit he got hurt, but he didn't make the playoffs. He won in a bubble. Last year he lost to Phoenix in the first round in 6 games, and he's going to lose to them again in the first round this year, or Golden State, probably Phoenix. Lose to them again in the first round this year. So it's 4 years in L.A. 1 year he's not in the playoffs, and the other 2 years he's out of the first round. So let's take it easy about this greatness of LeBron as a Los Angeles Laker.
He's been in 10 NBA Finals. He's been in 10 NBA
Eastern
Finals.
Conference. In the Eastern Conference.
So that's what we're doing now.
But Stephen A., when he puts it that way, when he puts it that way with the 4 years in the resume, I know how big you are on resumes.
Right.
Do you think maybe this actually was a mistake?
I don't believe it was a mistake because I believe that he delivered on the promise. He delivered the goods. He delivered the championship. The Lakers, I would remind y'all, had missed the playoffs 6 straight years before LeBron James arrived, okay? When LeBron James arrived his first year, he got hurt. Okay, right. And he missed like 17 straight games, and his season was compromised. Then he got help with Anthony Davis. He remained healthy. They went in the bubble. They won the chip.
Yeah.
Last year, Anthony Davis was hurt again, and LeBron was hurt. LeBron was not 100% in the playoffs last year. This, to me, there's 2 full seasons with LeBron in L.A. When the year he won a title, and this year, they looked horrible this year, and he has to be held accountable for that. I'll give you that. But in the same breath, when you talk about Jerry West, and I hate having this subject because I love and respect the hell out of Jerry West, and I know how great he is. What I'm saying to you is this. When you talk about a person that perpetually lived in the NBA Finals, doggy, I think we have to take into consideration the fact that even though you won 1, you couldn't figure out how to win the other 8 times. I mean, damn. I can't ignore that.
The one they won, that's probably the greatest team of all time.
Okay.
Keep that in mind. Okay. He didn't just win. He didn't win some nominal championship. The 71-72 Lakers won, not 33 in a row. They killed the Knicks. That's one of the great teams in the history of the NBA. And one other thing. When did Frank Vogel become a dope? 15 minutes, 15 months. 15 months ago, he won a championship. Now we got to bring Jason Kidd to coach the team? Oh, calm down, Steve.
I didn't say
Let him coach the team.
Excuse me. I didn't say that. I didn't throw shade on Frank Vogel. I know Frank Vogel's a good coach, but he wasn't their first choice. He wasn't their second choice. He wasn't their third choice. They wanted Ty Lue. They wanted Monty Williams. They wanted Jason Kidd. Frank Vogel was doing Get Up on ESPN.
Stephen A.,
what are you talking about?
What would, Stephen A., what would be, he brings up a good point, what would be the difference right now if they had a different coach? How would this be any different?
I think, first of all, you would have had individuals in place that would have held the team more accountable. Perhaps they would have dealt with Russell Westbrook a bit earlier. Perhaps they would have been able to have a stronger hand involving with LeBron James and convinced him to not just go out there and want to bring his boys on the squad with him and help make a better decision. There are a variety of things that could have happened if you were not the mild-mannered Frank Vogel, who was happy to get a head coaching job and was willing to accept whatever conditions the Lakers threw in his direction to make sure he was employed, which there's no crime against that. A lot of us would have done that in Frank Vogel's position. But make no mistake, he was not a first, second, or third choice for the Los Angeles Lakers. He was doing hits on Get Up.
All right.
Okay?
So you feel like
and that's how he became the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers, because he was willing to accept Linda and Kurt Rambis and people like that picking his coaching staff for him. That is a fact.